All right, Blender 4.5 is here, and whoa, is it a big one. Today, we're gonna take a grand tour of all the most significant updates in this brand new long-term support release. Let's just dive right in. Okay, so before we even get to the cool new toys, we have to talk about what might be the single most important feature for a lot of you, LTS. That stands for long-term support. And what it means is, this version is gonna get critical bug fixes for the next 2 years. So the bottom line, if you're starting any kind of big long-term project, 4.5 is absolutely the smart, stable choice you've been waiting for. So here's the game plan for today. We'll touch on that stable LTS foundation, then see how the core tools got a major sharpening. After that, it's the revolution happening in geometry nodes, a peek at some next-gen rendering and effects, and we'll wrap it all up with some amazing workflow and UI upgrades. All right, first stop, that stable foundation. Seriously, this LTS release is all about giving you project security. It's the rock-solid bedrock for every other cool thing we're about to see. Okay, let's get into the good stuff, the core tools. Blender 4.5 has some incredible upgrades that are going to make your day-to-day modeling so much faster and, honestly, just smarter. And first up, check this out, the new manifold boolean algorithm. If you do any work with watertight meshes, for 3D printing or just clean modeling, this is a total game changer. Remember the old fast method? It was quick, yeah, but kind of messy. The new manifold algorithm? It's even faster, but it's got the incredible accuracy of the old exact method. You literally get the best of both worlds, speed and precision. No more compromises.
Okay, animators, you're gonna wanna sit down for this. The shape key workflow, oh my gosh, it's just got two huge, massive, time-saving improvements that people have been asking for years. So check out this new update from Objects Operator. Just picture it. You're working on a character's facial expressions, right? Before, updating them was this whole complicated dance. Now, you just select your source meshes, then your target object, run the operator, and bam! Just like that, every single matching shape key is instantly updated. This is gonna save an unbelievable amount of time on character work.
And here's one of those quality of life updates that will just make you smile. You can finally see the UVs for multiple objects in the UV editor without having to tab into edit mode for every single one. Plus, the active object is a little more opaque so it stands out. I know it sounds like a small thing, but what a huge, huge convenience. All right, buckle up. We're moving on to a really big one, geometry nodes. If you thought this system was powerful before, well, version 4.5 is about to blow your mind. It's on a whole other level. And look, it's not just me saying this. The Blender team themselves are calling this update, and I quote, a boundary-breaking bunch of brilliant innovations. And why? Because it is just packed with powerful new nodes that completely change what's possible. So, what's the big news here? Well, it boils down to one number, 6. That's right, Blender 4.5 adds 6 incredibly powerful new nodes specifically for importing external data right into your node trees. This is a massive deal for any procedural workflow. We're talking point clouds, meshes, volumes. You can even bring in spreadsheet data from a CSV or just plain text files. And the best part? You just drag and drop the file right into the GeoNodes editor and it creates the node for you. This just opens up a whole new universe of data-driven creation. It's amazing. And that's not all. There's this other fantastic new addition, the camera info node. This node lets you grab the camera's position, its rotation, all kinds of data. So what can you do with that? Well, you can create effects that react to what the camera sees. Imagine automatically hiding objects that are off screen, or maybe generating more detail only where the camera is looking. The possibilities are just, wow, it's so incredibly powerful. Okay, let's switch gears and talk about rendering and FX, because this release brings a huge leap in performance, including, well, one of the most anticipated updates in the entire history of Blender. And there it is, Vulkan is here. The modern Vulkan backend is now officially supported. Now, it's not the default just yet. You do have to go enable it in your preferences. So, why should you care? Well, Vulkan is a modern graphics API, which is just a fancy way of saying it lets Blender talk to your graphics card way more efficiently. And the impact you'll feel is immediate. When you turn on Vulkan, Blender just starts up faster. Editing really dense meshes feels more responsive. Navigating massive, high-poly scenes is way smoother. Even sculpting gets a nice performance boost. It just makes the whole application feel so much snappier.
And hey, if you're a cycles renderer and you're on Team Red, an AMD GPU, I've got some great news. Thanks to this new HEIP hardware acceleration, you can see your render times drop by up to 30% on newer cards. That is a massive and completely free performance upgrade.
Okay, this next one is huge. Adaptive subdivision. You know, that amazing feature that lets you get that ultra-realistic displacement detail without killing your machine? Well, for years, it's been stuck as an experimental feature. Not anymore. It has been completely rewritten and optimized, making it 10 to 15 times faster. And now it's officially production ready. It's time to go add some incredible, jaw-dropping detail to your scenes.
The compositor wasn't left out either. It got some really cool new nodes, like the image coordinates node. This sounds technical, but it makes creating complex effects that just work on any image size, like a procedural vignette, so much simpler and way more intuitive than before. And finally, let's talk about those little workflow and UI upgrades. You know, the small changes that don't grab the headlines but have a massive impact on how you feel using the software every single day.
Okay, let's run through a few quick wins. Framing nodes? Now you just press the F key. Simple. Got a broken link in your node tree? You'll actually see it now with a little red triangle. And this is huge if you work with other software, the FBX importer. It's been completely rewritten. It's now anywhere from 3 to 15 times faster. That's a big deal. But seriously, that's not all. There are so many other little wins all over the place. Pen tablet support feels way better. The asset browser previews have been improved, snapping in the timeline is smarter, and lots of little UI layouts are just cleaner. It all just adds up to a much more polished, pleasant experience. So, if we're going to boil this entire release down, what are the key takeaways? Number 1, stability. This is a long-term support release, which means it's built for serious, real-world production. Number 2, performance. We're seeing major speed boosts across the board, in the viewport, in rendering, and in file importing. And number 3, power. With game-changing new tools in geometry nodes and shape keys, you've got some incredible new creative firepower at your fingertips.
Look, Blender 4.5 is really a landmark release. It's this perfect combination of a rock-solid, stable foundation with huge leaps in both performance and creative power. It's available to download right now, so really, there's only one question left to ask. With all this new power and stability, what are you going to create next?